Do you all remember the blood facial? It got buzz after Kim Kardashian posted this particular photo. The treatment is actually a PRP facial, a microneedling treatment using plasma from your own blood to help rejuvenate the skin. The treatments have benefits, but they can run $1,500 a pop.
It's a lot.
Not cheap.
It's a lot.
Well, one blogger decided to DIY the treatment at home. She even gave her followers a list of all the medical supplies they needed to purchase: syringes, a centrifuge, even hypodermic needles, going through all the steps. At one point, she explains to her readers which part of the vial of blood is the plasma for them to rub all over their faces.
That just sounds all kinds of dangerous.
I don't know.
And not effective.
Yeah, probably not ideal. Well, we wanted to dig a little deeper and to help shed some light on this. Board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Constantino Minietta joins us via Skype. So, Doc, we were just saying as non-beauty experts when it comes to cosmetic procedures, it just doesn't sound like a good idea. Is this dangerous? Because it sure sounds dangerous.
I got to tell you, it just rings wrong at all levels for me when you're doing this. First of all, she's instructing them on how to draw their own blood, or at least talking about drawing your own blood. You could injure a nerve, you could injure the artery. There's so many different things that could go wrong with just simply drawing the blood out. The other thing that I'm looking at is sterility issues, right? You're doing this at home. Are you familiar with sterile technique? Are you familiar with how to make sure everything is not contaminated? Because if you start to use these things on the face, you could get severe bacterial infections. There's streps, there's staph. Not only that, but what happens afterwards when you've done it? Let's say that you're one of those select few that's able to get through it and figure it out. Who's following you afterwards? What if you get a viral infection that can disseminate through the entire face and create severe disfigurement? I mean, there's just so many different things that just ring wrong to me with this.
And assuming that they don't get an infection, what's the probability that they are actually doing it correctly?
Well, that's the other thing, right? It's the technique. So, and that's where it's you're rolling the dice on something like that. And it just sounds so wrong. I mean, we're trained professionals. We've gone to school. We've had tons of training and experience. And here you have somebody who has no medical background, no medical experience, that's going to try doing these things on themselves. Boy, you are just headed for disasters.
And if you talk about the cost of the treatment, which we did discuss, could be up to $1,500, maybe more, maybe less, depending upon where you are. Dr. Minietta, to really drive this point home, how much of your time do you spend correcting the problems from DIY treatments gone bad at home?
You know what? It consummates a good amount of my practice, really. I'd say about 25% to 30%. So I am really dealing with these things quite a bit of my practice. As a matter of fact, I tried this treatment on my head, and look what happened.
I love it. So this is clearly not a good idea. Not a good idea. What can people do at home instead of trying this?
Listen, there's a lot of products that are made for the typical consumer that are very benign and are kind of safe-proof that way. There's derma rollers that you could use. You got hyaluronic acids that you have the creams that you could do, and then run the derma rollers on top of that, so you're experiencing a little bit of a deeper penetration of the hyaluronic acid. So there are definitely some methods that you could do. All you're trying to do is stimulate that collagen to get a better skin texture, to get a better thickness to the area, and to kind of rejuvenate the tissue. So you could start off with those simple things and see where it goes. But my God, doing medical treatments at home, I don't know.
I think what I'm hearing here when it comes to at home, less is more. Obviously, if you want more, you're going to have to spend more, but it's better to spend the money up front, get a great result, than it is to have a terrible result, end up with some life-threatening problem, and spending 30 times as much on the back end, and you look all jacked up. No offense, but you do it wrong, and you can jack yourself up for the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
You only get one face.
You only get one face.
If not, you can come to Florida. They got plenty of sugar mamas and sugar daddies over there.
Oh, so good.
The conversation went there.
Dr. Minietta, thanks so much for being with us.